In a time of fire, steel, and ruthless ambition, when empires clashed and knights fell like leaves in autumn, one man refused to be broken. His story wasn't just written in history books, it was forged in iron and blood. This is the tale of Götz von Berlichingen, the knight who defied death itself and became a legend that would echo through the ages. He was more than a warrior. He was a symbol of unyielding will, a man who, when faced with a crippling blow, simply forged a new path forward with a hand of steel. Join us as we uncover 5 astonishing truths about the original Iron Hand. The year is 1504. The smoke of gunpowder hangs heavy over the fields of Landshut, Bavaria. Amidst the chaos of battle, a cannonball finds its mark. It doesn't just wound Götz von Berlichingen, it shatters his world, tearing his right arm from his body. For any other knight, this would be the end. A warrior's life is over without his sword hand. But Götz was not any other knight. His spirit was forged from something far stronger than flesh and bone, while others would have accepted their fate, retiring to a quiet life of obscurity. Götz saw this not as an end, but as a challenge. He refused to surrender. Instead, he commissioned something unheard of, something from the realm of myth. He ordered the creation of an iron hand. This wasn't a simple hook or a decorative piece. It was a marvel of early engineering, a prosthetic designed for war. With this new steel limb strapped to his arm, he learned to fight again. He returned to the battlefield, stronger and more determined than ever, his iron fist a terrifying symbol of his refusal to die. He didn't just survive, he thrived, proving that his true strength was never in his hand, but in his unbreakable will. Now, you might be thinking this iron hand was just for show, a crude piece of metal to intimidate his foes. But you'd be wrong. Götz's prosthetic was a masterpiece of 16th century mechanics. It was an intricate device full of springs, gears, and levers, allowing him to control the fingers with astonishing precision. He could flex them, curl them into a fist, and most importantly, lock them into place. This wasn't just about holding a cup. It was about holding a sword, a lance, a shield. Imagine the psychological impact on his enemies. A knight, already a formidable figure, now charges at you with a gleaming iron hand wrapped around the hilt of his broadsword. This wasn't just a replacement limb, it was a weapon. In an era where medicine was still primitive, Götz possessed one of the most advanced prosthetics the world had ever seen. It was a testament not only to his own ingenuity, but to his absolute refusal to be defined by his limitations. The hand became an extension of his body and his will, a perfect marriage of man and machine in the heart of the Renaissance. Götz von Berlichingen was a man of his time, a mercenary knight who fought for those who could afford his sword. He was a quintessential soldier of fortune, serving dukes, bishops, and even the Holy Roman Emperor himself. His iron fist was a familiar sight on battlefields across the German lands. But Götz was no mere sellsword who blindly followed orders. He lived by a fierce, unbending code of honor. He served his patrons, but he bowed to no one he did not respect. This stubborn independence and rebellious spirit often put him at odds with the powerful. He famously led a peasant army during the German Peasants' War, a decision that branded him a traitor in the eyes of the nobility. He saw himself as a champion of justice, even if it meant fighting against his own class. He was a walking contradiction, a nobleman who fought for commoners, a loyal vassal who defied emperors. This complex character, driven by a deep sense of personal honor rather than blind allegiance, is what made him so compelling. He earned powerful enemies, but he also forged a reputation that would last for centuries. A man who valued his integrity more than his safety. A man as defiant as Gotz was bound to make enemies, and his life was a constant cycle of feuds, battles, and captures. He was imprisoned on multiple occasions, locked away by those who sought to break his spirit and end his troublesome career. But they consistently underestimated his greatest weapon, his mind. Cages and chains could hold his body, but they could not contain his will. Time and again, Gotz managed to escape his captors or negotiate his freedom through sheer cunning and force of personality. He was a master strategist, not just on the battlefield, but in the political arena as well. He knew when to fight, when to talk, and when to bide his time. One famous tale speaks of him being held for a massive ransom. Rather than wait for his fate to be decided, he orchestrated his own release, proving that his intellect was as sharp as his sword and as strong as his iron hand. His life became a testament to survival against all odds. He demonstrated that true power wasn't just about physical strength, but about an indomitable spirit that simply refuses to be conquered. Most warriors, even the greatest among them, fade into history. Their names become footnotes, their deeds forgotten. But Götz von Berlichingen achieved a different kind of immortality. His story was simply too incredible to fade away. It became the stuff of folklore, told and retold in taverns and fireside gatherings across Germany. But his leap into true immortality came to centuries after his death. The great writer Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, a titan of German literature, saw in Götz the ultimate symbol of rebellion, freedom, and the untamable human spirit. In 1773, he wrote a play titled Götz von Berlichingen, immortalizing the iron-handed knight as a national hero. The play was a sensation, and it cemented Götz's place in the cultural imagination. He was no longer just a historical figure. He was a literary icon, a symbol for anyone who dared to defy authority and forge their own destiny. He outlived his enemies, his feuds, and even the era of knights itself. His body may have failed, but through the power of his story, his legend never did. He fought with iron. He lived by honor. He became immortal. This is the legacy of Götz von Berlichingen, the knight who refused to die. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the life of one of history's most incredible figures. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tales of legendary heroes. We'll see you in the next one.